Welcome back, readers, for another session of Read Aloud with Mrs. Scott. So this week it looks like we're going to read a story with a spider as the main character. So before we read, you know what good readers do. Good readers think about what they're getting ready to read. So what do you already know about spiders? Remember, this is our think time. The next question I want you to think about or talk to with someone you love. What is something that only spiders can do? Okay, fantastic. Now that we've had some time to think about what we're reading, let's dive in. We've spent some time in the previous weeks talking about punctuation and paying attention to punctuation with periods and question marks and exclamation points. But I want to take a look here today at these little marks that I'm pointing to right now. These are quotation marks. When we see quotation marks, that means that someone in the story is talking. Sometimes as a reader, when I am reading a story for the second time, I will change my voice when I see quotation marks so that I sound more like what a character might sound like in a story. So I'm going to try to read this in a voice of a spider. Now I'm thinking of a spider, I'm thinking it's small, it's delicate, and in my schema, in my brain of things I already know, because your schema is the things you already know. I know the book and the movie Charlotte's Web, and I think about Charlotte's tiny voice. So I'm sharing what I'm thinking as a reader, and now I'm getting ready to read. Jan spins a web. Time to spin my web, said Jan. But where will I make it? Then Jan sees a cave. That is a nice spot. Jan spins a web on top. The sun sets. Jan sits in her fine web. Will it nab lots of bugs? Jan hopes it will. Then, wham! Bats zip past Jan and rip the web. Stop! Stop! Yells Jan. Jan spins her web again. This time, it is not in the same spot. This seems fine. Now bats do not hit the web when they speed by. Jan did a fine job. So I hope you could notice when you saw quotation marks in the book, you could hear the difference in my voice as I was giving the character her own voice. When I was the narrator, just reading the story, my voice sounded like Mrs. Scott's. But then when I saw the quotation marks, I made up my own tiny, delicate voice for the spider that sounds like this. Thanks for reading.